So hello everyone. We are very happy to welcome you at the virtual seminar program for agencies participating at the upcoming 2024 IPSEA trade mission to Turkey and Kazakhstan. It is my great pleasure to welcome Sheri Wakefield, the president of the International Public School Education Association of British Columbia. We are also honored to welcome Alan Schroeder and Ryan Forbes from the British Columbia Ministry of Education, as well as one of our trade mission sponsors, Chris Sabiston from Flywire. We really hope this seminar program will help you in preparing for your meetings at the trade mission, providing many valuable insights. So I would like to encourage you to write any questions that you may have throughout the session to the chat, and we will get to them in the end with the Q&A session. So now it is my pleasure to give the word to Sheri.
Thank you. I will just share my screen with us now. And just confirming you can see that okay? Great, excellent. Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon and evening to my colleagues, actually evening in British Columbia. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I'm hoping I can help answer some questions you might have about IPSEA. So first of all, it's a privilege for me to speak alongside my esteemed colleagues that are here with us today. There's Alan Schroeder and Ryan Forbes from the BC Ministry of Education, as well as we have Chris Sabiston from Flywire. So thank you for joining me, you guys. And as well, I really would like to thank Sylvia, Miroslava, and Theresia from Bonard for putting this all together, this presentation tonight and the upcoming mission. So just gonna, oops. I don't think you're, there we go. So as the current president, that's what I'm doing right now of IPSEA, I've been asked to tell you about our organization and what we're all about. So IPSEA, which is short for the International Public School Education Association of British Columbia, we bring together over 42 school districts throughout British Columbia. And together we run programs mostly to recruit and host international students from the ages K to 12, which are basically ages 5 all the way up to 18 and sometimes 19. I have personally been involved in international education for over 25 years. Like many of you, especially my colleagues here, we've seen a lot of growth in the industry and a lot of change. So we have a lot to share. So our mission in IPSEA is there's two main parts. First, we want to encourage a collaboration between all the school districts so we can work together to create a great program for you. Second, we're really passionate about promoting British Columbia's public education system to the rest of the world. We think we have the best public education system in the world, and we know that we have a lot of successful students that go on to post-secondary from our program and to lead really wonderful lives. So British Columbia is a very diverse area. There's going to be quite a few different school districts that you'll be meeting with. They all won't be there because, of course, there's 43 that we have. So if you just have a quick glance at this slide here, you can see all the different places in British Columbia. We have wonderful towns and cities on the coast of British Columbia, or you could go up into the interior where you're going to find more of the mountains. So very, very diverse. What we would do is when you're going to go around to talk to the different school districts, they're going to want to know a little bit more about what you're looking for your students. And I like to share this with you. Catherine, who will be there, Catherine Clark from IPSEA, she's the executive director, and she'll be there to tell you more about the different areas because you might have a student, let's say, that's really, really interested in skiing as well as studying a particular program, or somebody that's interested in marine biology. Well, they're going to want to go to probably different places in British Columbia, and she can help you with that. Now, we do all follow certain guidelines set up by the Ministry of Education, and we all do have agreements that we have with agencies that you'll learn more about when you go there. You can trust us as an organization. We are reliable, we're honest, and we do put the needs of a student first. So because of BC's climate, it's warmer than the other provinces in Canada, and it attracts teachers from all over Canada because they can enjoy the outdoors year-round. The average annual temperature in the coldest is probably going down to -13 degrees. The warmest regions averages between -1 degree Celsius and go up to about 30. We don't generally get too hot or too cold, and we do mainly have the 4 seasons. Aside from spending time outside, British Columbians also benefit with our rich diversity. We have a lot of different cultures that live within British Columbia. So homestay is extremely important to us here. One of the most important parts of our program is the homestay. It's the foundation. So all of our programs are homestay based. We don't have boarding schools. We are all homestays. And we always want to make sure that students are happy at home, because if they're happy at home, they're going to be happy at school. The Ministry of Education has a fantastic book that they put out for us as a resource for homestay resource that we like to follow, because it has some guidelines that we all follow, where we just have a certain number of students in a homestay. There's certain conditions we have to make sure that ensure that they're going to have a safe and productive life while they're living there. Great. So in the end, our goal is quite simple. We want to give students more than just an education. We want to give them an experience that changes their lives and connects them with people from all over the world. Whenever I have students that come, and we've had now over 2,000 students who have come to our school district, they all will say, at least 90% of them will say that it was the best experience for them. It was life-changing, and they've gone on to just share and live wonderful lives. So I really want to encourage you again, if you have a student that you think would fit well in British Columbia, do talk to Catherine or talk to the other people that are there, and we can help you find the best fit for them. Finally, I'd just like to leave you with this page. It's our website, steadyinbc.org, has all our contact information. So if you have any specific questions, please reach out to us. Again, Catherine Clark, she will be there at the mission for you if you have any questions as well, too. And I just will finish off with just saying we're just an email away. So you can contact us at any time, and we will be happy to help with you. That's that. There. Thanks. Please, at the end, I'll have you ask if you have any questions. Please feel free to ask.
Yeah, I think it's my turn.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Thanks, Chris.
ask questions or continue on?
We'll have you continue
Perfect.
on. I think we're going to do questions at the end.
All right, that sounds good. Good morning, everyone, and good evening again to my colleagues. My name is Chris Sabiston. I'm the director of our K-12 education team in North America here. I happen to live in British Columbia, and I'm a big fan of the province and of IPSEA as well. If you're not aware of who Flywire is a simple way for students, for parents, and for agents to make payments for education, for tuition and homestay, anywhere in the world to anywhere else in the world. And this is what we do. When Sheri talked about being very focused on the student, Flywire was founded by an international student from Valencia, Spain, who came to MIT in Boston, had a horrible experience paying his tuition, and decided to solve that problem. And here we are 13, 14 years later, and we are the largest company in the world that does this. Over the last 5 or 6 years, we have switched our focus from just working with educational institutions, such as Sheri's in the Gulf Islands, to working with agents as well. And we currently have 29,000 agent relationship partnerships across the country in 245 different countries. And we look forward to expanding that and building relationships with agents, as we know how important they are to international education in BC and in Canada. We currently work with 35 of the school districts in British Columbia and 135 of the school districts across the country. I've got this that I can share with you in an email or in when I'm with you in Turkey. This is just some of the agents that we work with across the world that you would recognize. There's a platform that we offer our agent partners to be able to manage their students that they're sending all over the world. This is something that you get for free when you work with Flywire, something that helps you organize, pay your tuitions, pay your homestays, collect commission from your school districts, collect payments from your parents, and track all those things all within the platform. Something that we can talk about more when we meet in person. Agent commission disbursements is something that we've added to our Canadian school districts. They have a payables platform that they're able to make payments to you, and all this stuff, all these payments are tracked on their dashboard as well as your dashboard in real time. So you don't have to call and find out where a commission is. You can track it in real time when it gets sent to you. A beneficiary is a very simple way for agent commission disbursements to be added. And all these things are done through the platforms that the school districts use, as well as the agents. That's it for me. I just wanted to share quickly who we are and what we're doing to try and support international education across Canada and specifically British Columbia. If you have any questions for me at the end, please let me know.
Neat. Thanks. I think we're next. Good morning. Almost noon where I think most of you are. Thank you to my colleagues and partners for their presentations. Thank you, Bernard, for the introduction earlier today. My name is Alan Schroeder. I'm the Director of International Education at the British Columbia Ministry of Education and Childcare here and I'm based here in Victoria on Vancouver Island. I'm joined by my colleague, Ryan Forbes. Ryan is an International Education Officer on our International Education team here at the Ministry. And over the next several minutes, we're going to take you through international education in British Columbia. Ryan, maybe take us to the next slide there, please. Thanks. I'll spend a few minutes talking about BC's education system, so you can get a better idea of what your students will experience inside the classroom here in the province of BC. And then Ryan will take us a little bit more through some of the ways that our Ryan, move to the next one. Thanks. And we'll go to the next one as well. Thanks, Ryan. Sheri already touched on a few of the highlights of BC as a study destination for your students, but I'll repeat some of those things. There are so many reasons why you should encourage your students to choose BC as their K-12 study destination. Just for starters, BC offers a modern, world-class, leading-edge education at both the K-12 and post-secondary levels with pathway opportunities there. And I'll get into that a little bit more a little bit later. There are a host of welcoming communities all across our province, from the south to the north, from the west to the east. And I'll touch a little bit on some of the communities in just a few moments here. And as I mentioned earlier, BC has a modern K-12 curriculum. Our province just implemented a new curriculum just about 5 years ago, so it's fairly recent in the world's Ministry of Education terms. And I'll get into BC's modern, student-focused, leading-edge curriculum in a few minutes as well. Just some basic facts about British Columbia and Canada in terms of population, and that Canada's population just recently went over 40 million. It's pretty significant in our world here. Canada's population counter now shows population of about 41.2 million. BC has between 5 and 6 million people here. Land area just under 1 million square kilometers. British Columbia has a large Indigenous population with about 200,000 Indigenous people across the province, and more than 200 distinct First Nations across our province. And that contributes a lot to our province's diversity. And something that I'll touch on in a slide later in the presentation is some of the work, some of the efforts that our province is doing to what we call reconcile or to strengthen the relationship or renew the relationship with First Nations across our province. And BC is one of the most popular study destinations. I'm just looking at the last bullet on the previous slide there, Ryan. One of the most popular study destinations for international students across Canada. And per capita, we are the most popular destination for international students. About 20% of Canada's international students choose to study in BC. Thanks, Ryan. There are 60 public school districts across the province. Our districts are diverse and offer students a variety of interesting, exciting educational and life experiences. The government of British Columbia is committed to high quality education in all of its public schools across the province. The province of British Columbia funds districts on a per student basis, not on a regional, not on a municipal basis. So as a result of that, you'll find that school facilities across the province are generally modern and well-funded, in good condition. Goes without all schools, all public schools across our province use British Columbia provincial curriculum, and that curriculum is delivered by teachers certified with our province's teacher regulation branch. In the last bullet, there are communities in all parts of our province are generally accessible. Across the province, there are 35 airports. So just about every part of the province is accessible by a short direct flight from Vancouver or other parts of the province. That's Ryan. Now I've got a few photos of the 6 different regions across the province of British Columbia. British Columbia has some of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. It's world renowned for its natural beauty, from the snow-capped mountains and dense forests to white sand beaches and crystal clear lakes and rivers. BC offers something for everyone. Students can enjoy a variety of outdoor activities all year round, including camping, kayaking, surfing, biking, skiing, and countless other engaging activities. Interestingly, the photo on the top right of the slide here is of the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis, and just this past weekend, many parts of our province were enjoying this phenomenon in our skies. It was quite amazing to see just above us these Northern Lights that were taking place. So that's a real thing that students might have a chance to experience if they choose BC as a study destination. The first region that I'll highlight here is the Vancouver Island region. I live here on Vancouver Island, the city of Victoria, and Vancouver Island is home to a diverse set of urban and natural environments. There are gorgeous beaches for surfing, mountains for skiing, and a wealth of pristine lakes, rivers, forests for outdoor recreation activities of all kinds. It's home to BC's capital city, Victoria, where our ministry is located, along with many K-12 schools, colleges, and universities. There are 13 school districts on Vancouver Island, River, Greater Victoria, Souk, Saanich, Gulf Islands, Nanaimo, Ladysmith, Qualicum, Pacific Rim, Comox Valley, Campbell River, Cowichan Valley, Vancouver Island West, and Vancouver Island North. Thanks, Ryan. While Victoria is the capital city of British Columbia, Metro Vancouver here, which comprises many cities and districts that you see listed here, is BC's economic and cultural capital. In Metro Vancouver, you'll find everything from upscale shopping and dining to world-class museums and entertainment venues. Metro Vancouver also features an abundance of stunning natural beauty, and outdoor activities are within easy reach of the city center. There are 12 school districts in the Metro Vancouver region listed there: Surrey, Delta, Richmond, Vancouver, New Westminster, Burnaby, Coquitlam, North Vancouver, West Vancouver, Sunshine Coast, Sea to Sky, and the French school district, Conseil Scolaire Francophone. The next region is the Northern region. BC's beautiful Northern region is where you would go to see the Northern Lights normally, although at times of the year, other parts of the province are able to see the Northern Lights as well. You would also go there to see the wild woods and plains bison and flourishing Indigenous communities. There are 14 school districts in BC's Northern region listed there: Caribou, Chilcotin, sorry, my pronunciation of my own districts is not quite right there. Quesnel, Central Coast, Queen Charlotte, Haida Gwaii, Prince Rupert, Bulkley Valley, Prince George, Peace River South, Peace River North, Fort Nelson, Coast Mountains, Stikine, Nechako Lakes, Niska. The next region I'll highlight here is the Thompson-Okanagan region. This region is famous for skiing and winemaking, but it also features Canada's only desert and the highest peak in the Canadian Rocky Mountains. There are 9 school districts in the Thompson-Okanagan region. They're listed there: Revelstoke, Vernon, Central Okanagan, Okanagan-Similkameen, Nicholas-Similkameen, Okanagan-Skaha, Kamloops-Thompson, Gold Trail, North Okanagan, Shuswap. Another region I'll highlight here is the Fraser Valley region. In addition to the beautiful barns and pastures and pastoral landscapes, the long history of farming and agriculture in the Fraser Valley also means that farm fresh food and ingredients are plentiful here. This region, just east of the Metro Vancouver region, also offers options for golfing, fishing, and visiting hot springs. There are 6 school districts in the Fraser Valley region: Chilliwack, Abbotsford, Langley, Maple Ridge, Pitt Meadows, Mission, and Fraser Cascade. And the last region that I'll highlight today is the Kootenay Boundary region. This region is known for its excellent ski hills, deep canyons, and emerald lakes. Aside from them, the Kootenay Boundary region is home to the world-famous Rocky Mountains. In this region: Southeast Kootenay, Rocky Mountain, Kootenay Lakes, Arrow Lakes, Kootenay Columbia, and Boundary. Thanks, Ryan. Here's a high-level overview of K-12 education here in British Columbia, which consists of a public system and an independent school system or a private system. You are likely aware of this already, but there is no Canadian National Ministry of Education, so each province or territory is responsible for the organization, the delivery, and assessment of education at all levels. The public system, where the majority of BC students go to school, is made up of 60 school districts and almost 1,600 schools, elementary, middle, and secondary schools. Each school district is governed by an elected school board. In the province's independent school system, there are over 350 schools, educating about 13% of the total student K-12 student population. Interestingly, British Columbia's curriculum is also used by schools in the Yukon Territory, and it was also recently announced that British Columbia's curriculum would be used in the Northwest Territories as well. So in the case of the Northwest Territories, they will be transitioning from using Alberta's curriculum into using BC's curriculum. And that curriculum, or that transition, is to be completed in about 3 years from now. So they've already started that transition. It's pretty significant. Thanks, Ryan. There are 663,620 students in BC school system, 87% in public, about 13% in independent schools. And there are a few subpopulations that I'll just highlight here. Almost 75,000 Indigenous students, more than 50,000 French immersion students across our province, almost 17,000 K-12 international students at public and independent schools across the province, and more than 75,000 English language learner students across our province. And this contributes to a diverse and multicultural student body representing the multicultural makeup of our province. And one thing that I would like to highlight to you is due to our province's student-focused curriculum, education at the of students, each student is encouraged to learn where they are at. It's not rote learning. It's not teaching to a group of students, but yes, teachers are supporting groups of students, but they are supporting individual students. So in a class, there may be Indigenous students, international students, ELL students together, and they're all being supported where they are at in their stage of education there. One of the strengths and unique aspects of BC's education system. BC's teachers are definitely high quality teachers. They're passionate, dedicated teachers all across our province. There are quite a few rigorous requirements to become certified by our province as a teacher. There are educator standards that all teachers must adhere to. All teachers must pass a criminal record check, of course. A teacher must have at least 5 years of university training in addition to in-classroom practicum experience. And generally at the lower levels, teachers are generally generalists by nature. And at the higher grade levels, there are more teachers that are subject specialists. That's right. Here's a diagram of the structure of BC's education system that shows pathways that students can follow during their studies. In British Columbia, there are typically 12 years of elementary, middle, and secondary school. Prior to elementary school, there's preschool and kindergarten. And after secondary school, there's post-secondary studies that includes university or college or vocational studies. Students at all levels from elementary through to post-secondary studies have ESL supports available to them. There are many opportunities for students who complete grade 12 at a school in British Columbia to stay in BC for their post-secondary studies. In BC, there are 25 public universities and colleges, and some private universities as well. And these schools offer a wide variety of study programs in just about any study area you could think of. BC has what we call the BC transfer system that offers flexibility in how students may transition from BC to post-secondary studies. It works when one post-secondary school recognizes education completed at another school. This allows students to use the credits that they've earned at one school, say a college, to meet some of the requirements for a credential at another school, say a university. And BC's post-secondary institutions offer a variety of programs, and the transfer system opens up possibilities for accessing these programs. The transfer system allows students to take courses at one school and then take advantage of small class sizes and often more affordable tuition fees at a small school such as a college or a small university. The transfer system is also popular for students that really want to, for example, really want to study a particular program at a university, but may not have the grades or may not be able to gain admission into that program. So starting their post-secondary studies at a college or a small university and then applying later as a transfer student, taking advantage of BC's transfer system, is a way that a student may be able to achieve that goal of getting into a program of choice sometime during their post-secondary studies. Great. In the next few slides, I'll get into BC's curriculum, what your students will study when they come here to BC to study in the classroom. Ryan? Thanks, Ryan. BC is recognized as a world leader in curriculum development. Curriculum was fully implemented 5 years ago in the 4 years ago school year. The new curriculum was designed to support success for learners in a rapidly changing world and to help teachers create learning environments that are both engaging and personalized for students. The redesigned curriculum of British Columbia focuses on developing what is called the educated citizen, also core competencies and Indigenous perspectives, worldviews, and content. What really sets BC's curriculum apart from more traditional types of learning in other parts of the world is the core principle of developing educated citizens. Educated citizens are those who are thoughtful, able can communicate information from a broad knowledge base. Educated citizens are creative, flexible, self-motivated, who have a positive self-image. Educated citizens are those who are able to make independent decisions, and so on. Many countries and states worldwide, from across Europe, from countries in Asia, from our neighbors to the south of Canada and beyond, have looked to BC for its leadership in curriculum and assessment development. Over the past several years, we've received many delegations of visitors from around the world looking to hear about BC's experience developing and implementing its new curriculum. And we've been happy to share our experience with those partners from around the world. BC's curriculum offers flexibility and choice, personalized learning, while maintaining a focus on reading, writing, and numeracy. It includes a strong emphasis on core competencies. It's built around big ideas. It includes Indigenous content and perspectives. The entire BC curriculum is available on our ministry's curriculum website. All areas of learning are based on a know, do, understand curriculum model. the content learning standards, the know of the model of learning, detail the essential topics and knowledge at each grade level. The curricular competencies, the do in this know, do, understand model, are the skills, the strategies, and the processes that students develop over time. The big ideas, the understand part of the know, do, understand learning model, consist of generalizations and principles and the key concepts important in any area of learning. The big ideas represent what students will understand at the completion of their curriculum for their grade. Interestingly, there are 445 courses that comprise BC's K-12 curriculum, including 307 courses between grade 10, 11, and 12. Over 300 courses available. That demonstrates a huge breadth of choice that students have in BC's school system. And when BC's curriculum was developed, under development, more than 300 educators from across our province and the Yukon territory were involved in developing this new curriculum. I want to highlight these core competencies, these really important parts of BC's curriculum. So these are core competencies that your students will develop during their studies in BC's school system. Firstly is the thinking competency, which includes creative thinking and critical and reflective thinking. Next is the communication competency that focuses on communicating and collaborating. And thirdly is personal and social competency, which comprises positive personal and cultural identity, personal awareness and responsibility, including self-regulation, social awareness and responsibility. These three competencies here, thinking, communicating, and personal and social, are the kind of skills or competencies that your students will develop to help them succeed in their future studies, or their current studies and their future studies at post-secondary, and then in their careers beyond that as well. So something unique to BC's curriculum here. And another point that I'll highlight here as part of BC's commitments to truth and meaningful reconciliation with Indigenous peoples across our province, our ministry has taken deliberate steps to ensure that the rich cultures of the Indigenous communities, over 200 of them across our province, are honored and respected by incorporating elements and initiatives in BC's curriculum, including the First Peoples Principles of Learning, which offer a critical lens for curriculum, which place a significant importance on authentic integration of Indigenous knowledge and perspectives in relevant and meaningful ways. And secondly, our province introduced an Indigenous-focused grad requirement. This provides all students in BC's school system time and opportunity to develop deeper understanding of the experiences and cultures and histories of Indigenous peoples in Canada. Thanks, Ryan. I am going to hand it over to Ryan to zoom through our international education section. Ryan, thanks.
Sure. Yeah, Sophia, can you give me a thumbs up? Are we good for a couple more minutes here? All right. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. I will be zipping through this next section. I'm just cognizant of time currently, but what we're going to do here is start off by talking about the international education program in BC overall. So Alan mentioned earlier that almost 1 in 5 students choose BC as their study destination, even though we have 10 provinces and 3 territories. So it is disproportionately a popular place. I'll just start with the international education sector and then discuss some of the work the province does to support the sector. So in the current year, 2023-24, there are roughly 17,000 K-12 international students studying in BC schools in the province. And there are about 36 schools around the world also that use BC's curriculum. These are called BC offshore schools, and currently there's more than 6,000 students studying BC's curriculum at these offshore schools worldwide as well. I'm going to just take a moment just to dig into just a little bit of the study permit situation in Canada. So any student who comes to Canada requires a study permit, and these permits are granted at the federal level by the Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada. And so here we can just take a look at couple of graphs that I've put together, starting on the left side here at the bottom of the graph. You can see we have the number of study permits been studying in BC since 2013. And you can see we've had a sort of, a small number of students at the K-12 level who are sort of steadily increasing over time. We would love to see more students join us from Turkey and take advantage of BC's education system. You can also see sort of BC overall above that orange line, and that sort of just indicates that many more students are also joining us for post-secondary studies and things like that. On the right side, the orange is BC overall, the same as the orange on the left one, and then the blue, of course, is Canada overall. So you can see we're seeing a lot of growth, a lot of interest in students from Turkey, and we are happy to welcome more as time goes on. And I've done these same graphs for other countries here as well. This is the Kazakhstan numbers, and you can see we have been fairly steady overall in terms of how many Kazakh students come to join us in BC. And at the K-12 level, we would like to see more join us as well. But we have seen some fairly sort of growing interest overall in Canada from students coming to join us for post-sec, K-12, and everything else. And here are the same graphs from Uzbekistan. The story here is a little different at K-12. We would love to have some students take an interest in BC as a study destination and have more K-12 students, more meaning any in this case. But again, we are seeing an upward growth trend overall in students joining us from Kazakhstan. I did have an excellent Kazakh student when I was teaching at university at Royal Roads, one of our local BC universities, who has gone on to be a very successful business owner. And finally, we are also seeing just a massive increase actually in students joining us from Iran. At the K-12 level, it's grown significantly with a little bit of a downward turn in the last few years, but our overall enrollment from Iranian students has really increased over the last several years, and we are very happy to see that. I'm going to kind of move quickly here and just talk about how the ministry supports international education and the well-being of international students inside and outside the classroom. So the three main categories that we would break this down into are policy, administration, and development. This is what the ministry does. And then projects and programs that benefit both international students and BC students as well. And then governmental relations with BC, Canadian, and international partners and stakeholders. And I won't spend too much time on that. I will talk about a couple of little parts of our support programs that have been getting some attention lately. One near and dear to my heart is the BC K-12 International Student Homestay Guidelines. This is sort of, these are guidelines that are set out to really accentuate and also ensure that students who are coming to study here are well taken care of. We are very concerned about the health and well-being, both mental and physical well-being of the students that come to study with us, particularly at the K-12 level, where students are most vulnerable. And I was proud to be the project lead on the latest refresh of the homestay guidelines, with the intention of updating these to ensure that they stay relevant and students are protected and kept safe, and first and foremost on everyone's mind while they're here. We also have quality assurance measures. The International Student Graduation Credit Policy ensures that students spend enough time taking enough classes to really get a handle on preparing them for post-secondary. I'm going to quickly go through the next few slides on a very, very short timeline here. We also have health and wellness guidelines for students and teachers to ensure that students are getting support for emotional well-being and everything else while they're here. And we also have the ministry's ERASE program, which stands for Expect, Respect, and a Safe Education, and really spends a lot of time focusing in on making resources available on cyberbullying, racism, discrimination, mental health, and so many more things. I'm also personally involved in the BC for High School website, ensuring that information is there and available for people who would like to know more about studying in BC and are thinking about sending their students here. The website address is there on screen, as you can see, bcforhighschool.gov.bc.ca. And then, of course, our stakeholders and international partners are a very important part of our work. We communicate regularly with many different organizations and branches of government at all levels. And we also do have an international memorandum of understanding with several countries. We have currently MOUs with Mexico, Colombia, China, Japan, Vietnam, Ireland, and Spain. And we are also, always interested to receive any sort of interest from other jurisdictions as well. And I will pass it back over to Alan to take us home in the last couple of minutes here.
Thanks, Ryan. Just one more slide here. Yeah, has an offshore school program. British Columbia makes its curriculum available to carefully screened school operators around the world. And currently there are 36 schools in 11 different countries and regions that are implementing BC's curriculum as their education program. And you can see where those schools are located. Thanks, Ryan. We are now at the end of our presentation. I want to thank every one of you for being part of this virtual presentation today to learn more about international education opportunities for your K-12 students. I hope you found our presentation to be informative, and I hope that you learned that by having your students study in British Columbia, they will have a high-quality educational program that'll prepare them for success in life, at university or college, and in their future careers. I hope that you also learned that students, wherever they may choose to study in BC, will have an amazing experience outside of the classroom, enjoying British Columbia's beautiful natural beauty. Yeah, I hope that you understand through our presentation today, and then through the mission and the meetings that you will participate in the next couple of weeks there, that you'll learn that BC is committed to ensuring that your students, all K-12 international students, have the best possible experience inside the classroom and outside of the classroom as well. So that is a key priority of our province and all of the school districts as well. Yeah, I wish you all the best with your meetings with the IPSEA members, the school districts, in the next couple of weeks. And I hope to see you and some of your students in British Columbia sometime. Thank you. Sheri, back to you maybe? Or Sylvia? I'm not sure.
I think it's over to Sylvia, unless if anybody has any questions, please let us know.
Thank you so much. So I am looking at the chat if there are any questions here. I see there is a questions regarding if there is any catalog where it would be available to see the course structure and what is taught on these courses. I would say that this is also an amazing question to discuss at the event, at the meetings with the participating school districts.
Yeah, I can offer, if it's a question, if it's a catalog of the school district members that will be part of the mission, then I believe that a guidebook will be created. If it's a question about British Columbia's curriculum and the courses that students might be able to take, I'll offer that BC's curriculum, an overview is available on the ministry website. And I'll just put that in here. Oops. Yes, so I put the curriculum link in the chat for everyone. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I was going to say that likely students will meet with an advisor or their international student advisor at the beginning of their studies to determine what courses would best suit their needs for their studies here in the province. Probably a good way to respond to the question right now. Sheri?
Yeah, I'll just add to that, that all our school districts will have certain schools, and each of the schools will list what courses are available. And under each course will be a good description. And if you ever need more details or a course outline that's deeper than what you see on the webpage, you just reach out to the school and they'll give you that as well.
Thank you so much. There is one more question in the chat. So the question is, what are some province-wide support systems for students who wish to continue their education at the university after completing high school in British Columbia?
Thank you for the question. Maybe I can take a little bit of a stab at responding, and maybe I'll invite Sheri to respond as well afterwards on some of the support that her district or other districts may offer students. I think that a number of schools have advisors or an international student advisor that is available to meet with students to help them choose which post-secondary school, and probably even more important than the school, the program or the program of study that a student would be interested in choosing to study in. Depending on the program of study that a student is interested in studying, that would determine to try to enroll in for their post-secondary studies.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just add to that we have the high school counselors that start as early as grade 10 or 11 or whatever age the students come. If they're planning on post-secondary, they're going to monitor rather closely what courses they're taking, make sure that they're taking the right courses to get into the programs they want to get into in post-secondary, and they help them transition into that. We have great relationships, all of our school district, with the post-secondary schools in the province. And so we're able to make that move quite easily in that direction. There's also great opportunities for scholarships. local community scholarships, and also through the post-secondary institute. So there's lots of helpful people, helpful hands helping these students to succeed for sure.
Thank you so much. We did get one more question. So that is on opportunities that are available for students who come to British Columbia for 1 year, but wish to continue in the education in their home country following the completion of one program.
That has a lot to do with the school they're going back to. So basically, if a student wants to come for 1 semester or a year, we will talk to them and ask them to talk to the school they're returning to make sure that they're taking the courses that they would be required to take when they're here. Quite easily done. We also, if they need to have the report cards validated, we can do that through the different avenues for sure. Some students actually can come and they are able to graduate within 1 year if they're of a grade 12 age and they meet all the criteria. It's quite an intense program, though, to be warned, where they have to take a lot of courses that they must study in British Columbia in order to graduate, but it is possible as well too. Feel free to jump in, anybody else. Yeah, if I've missed anything, my apologies.
I do see just one more, which is about the recording of this session. So yes, this session is recorded and it will be available, and we will share a private link with you later today. So if there are no more questions, I am happy to summarize a few housekeeping notes for the end. So again, thank you everyone for the wonderful, informative and insightful presentations. So most important housekeeping notes for the event. For the agencies from Turkey and Iran, the event is held on May 28 in Istanbul at the Hilton Istanbul Bomonti Hotel and Conference Center. For the agencies from Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, the event is held on May 31st in Almaty at the DoubleTree by Hilton Almaty Hotel. So at the event, you will meet 16 school districts from British Columbia. Each meeting will last 20 minutes. During the day, there will be 2 coffee breaks, 1 networking lunch, and we will conclude the day with the evening cocktail reception. The detailed agenda as well as profiles of all the participating school districts will be included in the event catalog. You will receive an online version of the catalog in the upcoming days via email, so you can better prepare for your meetings, and the printed version of the catalog will be available on site. In case you have any questions, we are always here to assist you and are very much looking forward to meeting you all in person in Istanbul and Almaty soon. That is all from my side. So thank you, everyone, and I wish you a productive and nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.